Hi, Signal Pres. At our April session meeting, as elders, we began to turn our attention in a dedicated way to the shape of ministry once this COVID season is behind us once and for all. That's a really big question. There are lots of moving pieces and details in that we're still working on. But there is one piece that we are ready to share with you now, and it is regarding our corporate worship. For a long time, corporate worship has been at the heart of our life together as a church. And it's been that way because we believe that the Bible teaches us that that's how we ought to structure our life together as a church. And yet you know that during this season of COVID, corporate worship is one of the many things that's been completely interrupted and disrupted when we couldn't meet at all, and then even now when we've met but under restrictions and safety protocols. Now, as elders, we take that as God's providential invitation to consider how, moving forward, we can strengthen our corporate in-person worship as the heart of our life together. And it's with that goal in mind that the session has approved a new structure for our corporate worship effective August 15th, 2021. And the heart behind this change is to reestablish corporate worship at the center of our life together by making sure that corporate worship is at the most accessible time and in the most accessible style. So I'll speak to both of those. First, the time. Corporate worship will, moving forward, continue to be on Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. One thing we've learned during COVID has been that 9 o'clock service is way more accessible to way more people than an 8:10 service. In other words, lots of us who aren't willing to be present at 8:10 are very willing to be present at 9 o'clock. And what that does is spread out the total number of people between the two services more evenly, and that in turn enables us to welcome more people into our sanctuary on a Sunday morning. And so moving forward, worship will continue to be at 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock on Sunday mornings. The other piece is about the style of worship. And starting August 15th, those two services will be in two distinct styles. That 9 o'clock service will be a traditional service. That 11 o'clock service will be what we're for now calling an informal service. I'm sure you have lots of questions about what exactly that means. And so I want to point you to the letter that accompanies this video and describes what exactly we do and don't mean by traditional and informal. But as you read that, I want you to hear the heart behind this change. It is our attempt to make sure that we honor those of you who've been in this church for a long, long time, while at the same time we intentionally move towards those who perhaps have never been in a church, to make sure that we put ourselves in a spot where we're able to proclaim the good news of the gospel to everyone, longtime church member and someone who's never even been in a church before. We hope that this structure will be one piece of us doing that more effectively in the season ahead. Now, still, I bet you've got lots of questions about this change for worship. And so I want to tell you that on Sunday, May 2nd at 6 o'clock, we're going to host a Facebook Live event where we'll be taking your questions and doing our best to answer those and put some more details around what we've announced to you today. So I hope you'll be present for that, whether it's to ask a question or just listen, and I look forward to this next chapter of our life together.